I think one of the less often talked about problems with modernity is the struggle to live authentically. And this means a few different things. But primarily, I think one of the main things that people struggle with, especially the more traditionalist minded people, is you have a serious disconnect from your fellow man in very many ways. I imagine a society something like 50 years ago where you could read about the news and then go into work the next day and talk about the news, and you could have conversations with people you didn't agree with, and it was okay, and you could all walk away hopefully having learned something from the conversation. And as most of you know, that's mostly entirely gone in the modern era, which is a real shame because truthfully I enjoy talking to people in general, and especially talking to people who I don't agree with. I mean, I like to talk and disagree and figure out, where my views might be flawed and how I can learn something. I actually want to talk to somebody who could possibly reason me out of a given viewpoint that I have. But this is pretty much impossible in this day and age. And this is partially due to cancel culture, but it's also partly due to the fact that we are completely and utterly suppressed. Anything that is going to be talked about, if you go even mildly against the narrative, you're going to experience such backlash that I'm sure all of you have experienced. Just a few examples of the past few days. People talking about vaccinations and things like that at work. I'm sure you've experienced this, and you really just can't say anything. Or during Black History Month, when people bring up certain topics of Black contribution to history that you may or may not agree with, it doesn't matter because you can't talk about it. You can't say, no, maybe this contribution wasn't actually that important to my life. And there is no discussion, there is no learning, there is no communication. And this is inherently dehumanizing, to not be able to speak what you want to say. And I think if there is such thing as a human right, I would say the right to an idea is probably one of the most fundamental rights. So not being able to share ideas is inherently dehumanizing. And they know this, and they're purposely trying to dehumanize you. They don't want you to be able to communicate. They want you to suffer alone. And it is especially alienating. Most of us are forced into online communities with people that we will never meet probably, which is another layer of alienation that you actually might be able to forge a certain amount of friendship and camaraderie with somebody who you can never ever share your name or location with out of complete and total distrust. So I think the opposite of authenticity is assuredly alienation. So people who live in work in a corporate type environment, they experience this to a very high degree. I'm personally in education. Yes, I do experience this to a very high degree. And then there's certain people that actually manage to escape this, but it adds a whole new layer of lacking in authenticity. So say you leave the corporate environment, you leave whatever position, and you go do something like a union job or construction. You're actually building things with your hands, and perhaps your foreman is not one of these lefty types, and they will let you say whatever you want on the job, whether it be sexist, racist, or whatever. They let you talk about COVID vaccination at work and how stupid it is. So the no layer here is maybe you have freedom of mind and you have freedom of ideas, but look at what you're still doing with your time and what you're doing with your labor. Anything that you do is going to be, once again, contributing to a system that wants to oppress you. And this is inherently not authentic. If you work in a corporate system, you're getting paid, but your labor is going to oppressing you and oppressing others. If I work in education, and I want to do my best to help young kids grow, develop, and learn. and I'm still forced to contribute to a system full of other people who may not have the best wishes in mind for them. Sorry about that. My dog will not shut up, but that's okay. So maybe you do manage to escape the system and you go work in construction or something like that. Well, the sad news is that you're still contributing to this system. And this is something that Mike Ma actually talks about in Harassment Architecture. He says you go to work for a construction company. Well, what are you gonna? You're gonna go level a park and create a parking lot. You're gonna go build another McDonald's. You're going to go build another Walmart. So these are things that nothing authentic is being built anymore. There's nothing organic. There's nothing that is actually, there's nothing you're constructing that is actually helping your fellow man, really. And I used to work construction. I worked in roofing, actually. And I would say all of our clients, well, a good portion of our clients were landlords. Your type of slumlord that owns 50-something properties across a metropolitan environment, and they're obviously your leech who is contributing nothing and mooching off of less fortunate people, and you're building roofs for their properties. You're not really doing anything that is actually, helping an individual person or a family. But we did do roofs that did help people and families. We did do a lot of just small residential shingle roofs. But the thing is, these were not being paid for by those families. They were paid for by insurance companies. So we were getting paid by the insurance company to build a roof for them to cover their insurance costs. And that money was really just being milked out of the family and then funneled back to us. So there's this middleman of the insurance company that we are 100% beholden to. And so once again, contributing to a system that is not good, that is oppressive, right? This fire economy, as they call it, where you have people that are not contributing anything with their labor, people that are not making anything, people that are not doing things or creating things, people that are really just sucking money out of people that actually do work hard. So even the people that are saying, you need to escape the system, go into some other type of field, they're still participating in this alienation, and they're still not being authentic when they are contributing to the system that wants them to be destroyed. So this is once again a huge problem, and in this video I'm not going to put forward a solution, but I do just want to say that this is something that should be articulated, and I'm sure this is something that many other people have experienced and have been thinking about. And lastly, you need to find ways in your life to mitigate those destructive contributions, right? And this is hard, especially for people that might be not exactly wealthy, like myself. You gotta stop shopping at Walmart. You gotta stop contributing to these massive corporations. I wish I could say that I haven't shopped at Walmart in the past month, but I have, and this is something that I'm trying to stop doing in my life. Stop shopping at Walmart, stop shopping at Costco, stop shopping at these giant multinational corporation stores that are just stocking shelves with crap for you to consume, and do your best to eliminate the middleman, right? But then you come to another issue, whereas if you really want to be economically self-sufficient, what are you doing? You're investing, you're buying stock in more of these companies that are contributing nothing and, milking people for all they're worth. You're going to go invest stock in Amazon or Apple or anything like that. These same people that want you to be destroyed. So it is a very difficult situation. It is really hard to live 100% authentically today. But most importantly, I think we need to find ways to get past this alienation from our fellow man, and we need to find ways to communicate and open up lines of communication and start actually being one-on-one personal people again, being willing to talk to each other and trying to change each other's minds instead of just shutting each other down. And I know this sounds like some dumb hippie crap there, and like I said, I don't think I have a real solution, but I think many people have felt this, and it is something worth talking about, to say that at least there is a solidarity here with people that you might not ever meet and people you might not know the names of. But we're out here, and we're trying to form these online communities, and maybe one day they will be real life communities. And I guess that's the goal at the end of the day, right? So, yes, do your best to live authentically and find ways to do so.